bueno, yo estoy grabando y cómo no nos enteramos de esto antes, ojalá.
Pues es que sincero, a mí me agarró de sorpresa.
Literalmente te avisé.
Yeah, for sure. Happy to hop on this one.
No sé cómo ver en
So
Discord,
Ray,
un anuncio de Discord.
I'm just gonna. This is literally how I
Y
stay
sale
live, by the
esto.
way. So cut me some slack here.
Ay, Dios.
So Ray
Le redujeron
is
No
interesting
seas
because there are, I
culo.
hear a lot of different things from different people. There's some people who
Ahí
feel
está,
she's
puro.
underperforming. Some people
Se
feel
le
she
redujeron
has
su ulti.
particular niche spots where she's
Ahora
very
por un
powerful.
75% en vez de un
Statistically, we
100%.
see that she
Qué
is
ascón.
No, bueno,
so these are a
están los
number of
tipos que dicen
changes
que Rey
meant to
estaba
bring her down
rota.
a little bit. Quality of life change for chain heal.
Ahora tengo que volver a jugar
Heal. We now prioritize targets based on the target's percentage of maximum health rather than flat health value. So your tanks at 30%, you happen to have more health.
Se acaba en un mes, por cierto.
Technically, percentage-wise, less healthy, now get those extra bounces rather than the squishies. Our change to Vivify, which is her ultimate, we are reducing the healing done by the ultimate to Ray and her link target from 100% of maximum HP to 75% of maximum HP. Still impactful. It's not quite the, oh my gosh, the entire health bar is back up. And then for her cards, we have Refreshing Break, which is the one that grants ultimate charge to each player hit by Chain Heal. We're reducing the scaling on that. And then actually something I noticed the other day while I was implementing this balance change, we do want to make it clear that the text wasn't actually entirely accurate for this card before. We were gaining less benefit than the card said we were, and we were still seeing players talk about this card and its particular niche strength as kind of that alt battery thing. So while the patch notes do say, I believe right now 0.4 is 0.35, I believe the value was actually 0.3 originally, and we're bringing it down to either 0.2 or 0.25%. But obviously that's something we keep an eye on. 0.2, I believe. Keep an eye on during PTS. Give us feedback on the new Refreshing Break if it still feels as impactful as it did before. We need to hammer it some more. Midnight Stroll is our other card. This reduces the damage done to enemies that you are linked to by 5% scaling. We're bringing that scaling from 5% down to 4%. There were certain loadouts and certain instances in which Ray could 1v1 almost any champion, and some of what we're doing is hoping to address that and other frustration points.
Okay.
¿Qué temática crees que va a ser el nuevo pase?
Literalmente lo puedo ver porque ya salieron las notas.
¿De verdad?
Sí, está.
You never really know until you try them, so definitely check them out. And our next one, we have like just 2 left. We got Shaolin. Fish, why don't you go
Se reduce la velocidad de movimiento.
That's right. Yeah, so Shaolin wasn't performing super well, and players knew it. Like his
Reduce la penalidad de movimiento.
was just very low. So we wanted to give him a little bit of love, and we decided
O sea,
that making his
se va a mover un poquito más rápido mientras se está cargando la habilidad.
Weapon fire,
Ay, no.
there, and then a little bit of extra damage as well.
Ah, ya, es la
Hopefully
Q.
make him a little
Es la
bit
Q.
competitive, make him a little bit
Creo.
more reasonable choice. So,
Yeah, I think that's always great to like recognize that. It helps people, get picked more often and
Si el daño
get a little love. So
el daño mínimo que hace Shaolin sin cargar su flecha era 600, le van a aumentar.
Another Nico character here is Vatu.
A ver, Vato.
Guide us through here. Nico looks like
¿Por qué solo dan 2 skins?
Le redujeron el daño.
Like Dark Shadow Child.
O hicieron, hay un skin de Sati.
is another one like Ray that has mixed
Dark
opinions
and
with
Death.
different players. Some players find that he can be extremely overwhelming
Taira
to play
Merodeadora.
against, and some players find
Y
he can be
Sati
extremely
Sirena.
overwhelming to play. Right now, our stats are showing that he
No
is
sé.
pretty high up on both pick ban and
Me gustaría un skin de Sati sí, pero
when he is in matches. So
no sé,
we
esos skin como
are
que no me
doing a couple
convencen.
nerfs. We're going to see how this lands and then go from there. Especially with Enveloping Shadows, fairly significant pick rate on Enveloping Shadows. So we are bringing
Tengo que grabar,
kunai, damage per kunai down from 300 to 280.
Sí.
And we are bringing the benefit of the cooldown benefit of Enveloping Shadows down from
Sombras
12%
envolventes.
to 10% per hit.
No sé, su escalado dice.
Okay, and just a reminder
Escalaba?
again, as if I'm not
No,
on
no,
the
no.
record now, all these changes will be available in PTS, so make sure that if you have the opportunity to play PTS, that you do so and give us feedback. Paladins Discord is
Lo que estoy disfrazado es el de arriba.
tool. There's a PTS feedback section there. just for you to use. So if you're not already a member,
Si te das
there,
cuenta
make
que
sure
esta
you join
actualización va a estar
Paladins,
cuando ni Robanova ni el de abajo están disfrazados.
Sí, weón.
Or no,
Solo el
Este
Discord.gg
Tsunade del lado.
/Paladins game. Wow,
Es el
getting mixed up
único,
here
weón.
There we go.
because I'm
Es
so
el único que está
excited.
emocionado.
Okay, the excitement's real. That's what's mixing me up here. Is we're about to go into our next event pass, and if you didn't know, it was something a little
Dark
fishy,
Depth.
in the realm. Yeah, it's going to be called
Profundidades
Dark
oscuras.
Depths.
Profundidades
Yeah, not
oscurísimas.
just fish, actual
Alto
fish.
hilo.
Taira
weón.
y Sati va a conseguir stream.
But yeah, so Dark Depths is the name of this, and our first, so instant unlocks are going to be actually a loading frame this time for free instead of the first skin that you normally get, as
¿Allá?
well as a 50% experience and gold boost.
Qué
But
raro,
on
weón.
top of that, you do get your level 6
Rosa.
unlock with
Ese es de Taira, weón. Pensé que era tal.
Marauder Tyra. So I think a lot of people, and you guys can
Otra
chime in on this,
persona,
I think
otro
for the
personaje,
teaser,
más
a lot of
bien.
people were expecting her to be just like Tyra as a pirate.
No se le nota de
But
Taira
this
nada.
is like a whole like she's from like Davy
Está medio
Jones'
extraño, la verdad.
locker
Es
kind
un
of
pinche
thing,
tritón.
right? Like, this is a different way that we've never
Está bien
seen
feo.
Tyra before.
At least
Me da
it's not
miedo.
folk vibes going on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. And I believe what it was
Wow.
shot that,
Si no le ves el cuerpo entero, la cara parece de hombre.
write the voice pack for this. So shout out.
Yo
to-
pensé que era
that
Tarlo,
was,
weón.
Shock's
Uy.
first one, right? So congrats to
Dicen que va a estar una VTuber como paquete de voz, ¿no?
A job
Ah,
well
ni
done.
idea.
Sí, sí, sí.
Che, Nimu.
Nice watery weapon there.
No.
Oh
¿Por
my
qué es eso,
gosh.
verdad?
No. Una
What a
que hace stream de Paladins.
I know.
so it's
¿Belladonna?
cute.
No, no me acuerdo.
¿Es latinoamericana o extranjera?
I don't think I'm running any other death
Extranjera.
stamp.
Ah, ni idea.
No, that's
Sure, pretty-
definitely the
pretty
death
tier.
stamp of choice. So you see, we got some great
De
fire
Sati,
going on, and it
Sati
looks like
versión
we are
Tritón.
going right into our level 12 unlock there, which
Mira
is
esos
Sea Queen
macumbos.
Sati.
Sati.
Yeah,
Uy.
so Miss Sati
Mira,
had her
aquí eso te
debut
convierte en
last
furro.
update for the
Aléjate
trick
de
shot
mí.
update, and seemed a lot of
Espera,
love was
en el
there.
pase,
So
¿habrá
this is
montura?
going to be her first
Ah,
event
ni idea.
pass skin.
Extraño cuando había montura,
Definitely
weón.
giving queen vibes. Look at all the gold on her.
Mm,
So,
no, creo que no.
What,
Sí,
what do
no
you
va a haber
folks,
montura.
think about this design?
Carajo.
Quite the Sati Sea Dog is our queen here.
I just was hoping. I don't know actually if we manage to get this in, but if when she uses her decoy, can she say something like, "Now you see me, now you don't"? I just feel like that would be
Now you
really
see-
Paladins
appropriate.
for Bolivia.
I
Yeah,
get it. I
mhm.
get it.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
face
yeah.
palmed. I face palmed.
Comediante saliste, ¿eh?
You know.
Gracias.
Selfless voice packs for Kevin.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Don't
Ah,
take
lol,
that
recién me
away.
cuenta si tiene... Lo leíste.
Just to avoid.
Ah, lol, es el Dabonet todavía, qué culero.
We're gonna shortly hear folks get into game.
¿Lo viste?
Lol, está
We
reaccionando,
are here.
segundo
And
está
her,
reaccionando.
You know, I always liked it.
Sí, está reaccionando al patch preview.
Desert
Lo
Eagle for the
viste.
default, pistol.
Paladins it's
when we
Bolivia.
were, introduced to Sati at
Qué
first.
cagón ese,
And,
weón.
the design on this gun is beautiful.
Está medio mea.
I really
Yo
like
pensé que iba a ser más emocionante.
Yeah,
Sí,
the
a mí me
royal-
convence mucho esta
royal
fase.
vibes. Like the gold just looks amazing on it.
I like the wave shapes and the good with that. It's good.
We should
Alto
show off
ahí,
maybe a
loca.
voice line too when we get a chance.
¿Solo eso?
Sí.
Puta, me imaginé algo más espectacular, ¿no?
Es tan espectacular, weón.
No sé, algo bueno, fácil. A ver, espérate, el cartón es lo que importa.
I'm not hearing those, but I'm sure we'll get them. Oh, there we are.
Pero ¿cómo es el
Yeah, I
cartón?
think the volume's just a
Deja
little
ver.
low.
No se les
There we
escucha el
go.
paquete de voz para nada.
Production heard our cries. Oh, there's the decoy.
No, esos buenos son flojos, weón. No van a modificar el cartón.
I like the wave bat.
Ah,
We're gonna
malditos
get a look at the
flojos.
ultimate here.
¿No han hecho que la ulti de Kazu suene diferente o no hacer eso?
Huzzah!
Huzzah!
Qué buena lanza. Oh, se parece a los
The wavy water.
bombas
effects
que
in there
aparecen
as
en Minecraft.
well. So, yeah, And
Ah,
if you
¿las
don't know,
tenés?
we usually do,
Creo que
different
sí.
variants of these skins as
No
you
sé cómo
unlock
se llaman, la
more
verdad.
in your event pass, which is our
Así
level
te
18
llamas
unlock,
Minecraft Pro.
which is
Minecraft
Royal
Tero.
Mark Tyra. See, I like this more than the first one because I'm a big fan of purple and maroons. So I really like these colors on this skin, and yeah, I just think she looks
10
absolutely
minutos de
fabulous
grabación, 10
in
minutos de
this,
directo. ¿Cuánto
certain
tiempo
color
lleva?
scheme for it,
20.
even more than the level 6
Se me
unlock.
pasó por enterarnos tarde, ¿no?
But
Agreed.
we also have, for the end of this event pass, we have our level 24 unlock, which is Crimson Tide Sati. Also,
Dame,
really
weón.
good
Me sentí
looking
emocionado,
skin.
pero luego mis
Doesn't
emociones
have
se
the same
fueron
gold elements, but that
lentamente
chrome,
apagando.
it's
Parece un
like, has
gato si le
like a
quitas
really
las
shiny
orejas.
chrome kind of
Efectivamente.
steel texture where the gold
Yeah, I
was
was gonna say,
before.
in the same way that
Se
you
le salió
mentioned
un
about how
rayo.
the card scheme made it better for you for the Tyro one, this one for me is
Among
top
Us.
tier. I love the orange chrome mix.
The green really pops too. Nice contrast.
Oh yeah, and the dark hair, I don't know. I really like the way that this looks.
She's curling it.
So. Oh, absolutely. So,
muy mea.
with that being said, though, I think we're gonna go into one of our first chess
¿Qué?
¿No te dije?
slash direct
¿Ya?
purchase skins
Es
coming
eso.
up here,
Pero
which
son-
a lot of you have been asking for a
Conche tu
Yagoroth
madre,
skin,
Yagoroth,
and she
weón.
is getting some love coming
¿Qué?
up with
Espera, ¿viene en el
Leviathan.
pase o
No, no, no,
simplemente
esa parte.
Definitely,
aparte, seguro?
Directamente y mediante el cofre
my
de
old
las
friend.
islas volcánicas del
yeah,
Reino.
definitely don't want to
¿Se puede adquirir
run into this
directamente?
when you're out at the
¿Cómo así?
beach.
¡Lol, una montura!
¿Viene con
and,
montura?
we're gonna get a first look
Lol,
here. Now,
Jazz,
just to
con una
let
skin de
everyone
Maeve.
know while we're
Ah,
loading
no,
it
sí.
in here, this will be available again for direct purchase, and there's gonna be
¿Y
a
por
new
qué no hay
chest
skin
called
de Bok?
Volcanic Islands, and this will be
Oye,
available on November
esta skin sí
10th.
está buenísima.
¿La de Yagorat?
Ah,
Yo, dog, I heard you like sea monsters.
Solo le hice el hocico, nada más. ¿O qué?
Leviathan indeed. This is
oh,
scary.
te cagó.
Espérate. Ya, me cagaste ahí. Está buena.
Te cagó regacho, ¿ah?
Me cago horrible. Mira,
Now I have
weón.
to say, I think that this skin's
Mira cómo-
effects
Lo
are
lanza peces
Mira,
lobo.
¿ves las
some of my
partículas?
favorite,
Sí.
especially for Yagoroth. I was wondering
Son
what we were
peces.
gonna do
No.
with some of her first content, and it turned
No,
out
aquí
pretty,
creo que le
you know,
pusieron
turned out
todo el
pretty well.
empeño, ¿ah?
The,
Tirando
that's
aceite de-
some nasty sea gunk,
De pescado.
and I'm loving it.
Hay otra skin, por cierto.
That's what.
Ahorita la van a poner, espérate.
Ha!
No sé si es sí o Maeve, weón, me confundió.
What are you gonna do, right? Except
Como
Just-
los...
bask in the
¿Y por
glory
qué-
of this
¿Y
skin.
por qué chingados no una de
What are
Bok?
you going to do?
A ver, dime.
That's exactly
Porque
what I
tiene una de
said, Fish, you heard
Tritón,
me.
baboso.
Eso me cuenta.
I was hoping I was mistaken.
Es
¿Cómo que no
una
tiene?
chica.
Let's,
Oh,
Cool, and let's hear some voice lines too, yeah.
Sigue siendo la misma. Ay, no le veo el cambio.
Puta, si me dice que cuesta cristales, me corto un...
Mira. ¿Tú te lo compras? ¿Conociéndote, Julio?
Pretty
A recargar cristales, dices.
savage. Oh no.
Mira, el perro se meó.
No, that's off limits.
Ya no me compro un
No,
DLC ya. Ahora me
that's
compro
a
esto.
that's a good boy or
Maldito,
girl in there.
weón.
Don't spit acid on it.
Oh,
Don't spit acid on it.
¿salen
Yagoroth.
peces o me parece,
With
weón?
that said, things are getting a little
¿Cómo
salty.
te tienes el directo más
So,
avanzado que yo,
with
weón?
that
Qué
said,
chucha.
we're gonna go into our next skin here,
Actualízalo,
which
po,
I'm
weón.
sure there's many excited and many are feeling the salt for.
Ah, no, sí,
and
sí.
that is gonna be Io's new salt
Qué
skin.
miedo, weón.
Pepper's bestie.
Por lo menos está bien
making it
animado,
into
no
the
como la
game.
otra skin de Maeve.
Sí, weón, me confundí, me asusté y dije, ¿qué?
You know, you came here for the
La de
Greenwood
gato
Music
de Maeve,
Festival.
puta madre, ya van dos.
Yeah.
Pero creo que esta se ve mejor que comparada con la
I
de
sometimes
Egipcia.
can't believe, it really happened, but,
Por
here
mucho,
she
por
is, and
creces,
she will be
Julio.
available for direct purchase, as well as in the Good Vibes chest, which is a new chest coming.
Cambio,
November
¿Este te se puede
1st.
conseguir de manera directa o por
Like she's
cofre?
repping our Evil Mojo swag as well.
Supongo que por cofres,
Highly
¿no? Qué
requested,
güey,
like highly
eso.
popular, well-received community theme that's now getting a couple.
El arco está bien, ¿verdad? El arco tiene su encanto.
Bueno,
And it looks
mira la
like we are
montura,
gonna take
causa.
our first
Mira la
look at
montura,
her
weón.
in-game, and look at that Luna.
Se compra, weón. No creo que
People
vaya a
love
ser
for
así por el
Luna.
paso.
DLC.
So,
Te
you know,
voy a
we
dar
haven't really
presidencia,
been
weón.
talking about any callouts here, but there is one that we definitely want to make sure the community knows about.
Sí, o streamer,
And
weón.
that is this skin
Las
is
anotas,
actually
qué loco.
voiced by a streamer that we have.
Yeah, this salt skin is voiced by none other than
What?
Lily Pichu.
Yeah, we got a lot of auditions and
No puede ser IO streamer.
selected her. She was very good, so hopefully folks will like that when we get the voice lines.
No,
I
siéntate.
love the
Échate.
way Luna looks.
I
I
know,
wish it
right?
was
That can-
Está hablando de su
chunky. I
billetera.
wish it was
Digitized.
chunky
Quiere
like
gastar.
Mew Mew, but that's just because.
¿Crees que sean por cofres la de ya ahora?
There's so much flavor in this skin.
Sí se puede
Yeah.
también, dice.
Si es así, puta, me imagino,
For me
Julio, ya
personally, it's always
gastándote
been
todo
tough
tu
to,
sabor de
like,
todo tu
conceptualize
miserable
No
vida.
mames,
puta,
no,
music
no va a estar en
scene
cofre, weón.
in game content.
Si yo
just
te,
for fans,
si
but
yo
I
te di
think,
el consejo de no estar en cofres,
I was
Porque
pleasantly
este voy a estar
surprised when I
yo.
saw how this came together.
sería hipócrita de mi parte.
Let's listen to some of her
Conchudo.
voice lines. Let's hear some Lily.
No, si dice de forma directa, pues me lo compro de forma directa.
Espera, la voz me suena.
No escucho nada.
You're so talented. I'm the goat.
Me suena la voz. No sé.
I'm the goat. Attack.
Murió.
Flank left. Set up an ambush here.
Absolutely adorable.
Yeah.
What?
Nails the vibe we're going
¡Es precioso!
Yeah, shout outs to Lily for
Weón, es
that.
un tiburón.
And yeah, looks like we
Tonto
also have a
tiburón, cabrón.
mount coming,
Míralo
and I know
tan
many
bello.
of you were hoping
miren,
for a
es
mount that
El
isn't
tiburón
just
narizón.
purchasable as
Es un
DLC.
tiburón.
This
Todo
mount
narizón.
right here, his name is Brody. He's clearly a good
¿Cómo?
boy, you know.
¿Qué?
Tiene
Blue
shark
mount.
teeth. Yeah, it's gonna be a shark mount.
Qué hermoso,
Available
weón.
Tiburoncín.
for direct purchase, and also the
Ujajas.
chest that Leviathan Yagoroth is in, the Volcanic Islands chest, will also be
Oh,
available
look
in
nice.
there. And
Nice,
look at
nice,
this
nice.
lovely little floaty boy.
Se consigue tiburón sin.
Look at this boy, Brody.
Tiburón sin cuja.
Different from a lot of our other mount offerings, and again, great flavor here.
I've actually never had shark. I wonder.
No,
I don't
se
know
consigue
about the
con
flavor, but I mean,
cofres,
I like the
tiburón,
mount.
weón.
You know.
¿Con cofre?
Se
Yeah,
consigue con cofres.
when you see me rolling into
Throw it
battle
down.
on a shark mount, it doesn't get much
Sí,
better
pero
than that.
pues
You
ahora
know,
también
I was
con
pretty
cofres.
excited when we had the sky whale,
Te consigue por.
but now I got a shark.
It's more aggressive.
Se
Por
consigue
cofre o por
por.
forma
Yeah,
directa.
and
Cofre
the next one,
y
folks,
compra
you
directa.
might have seen that Vivian is going to be
tiburón.
our
What?
Bounty Store exclusive in the Absolution update.
¿Y eso?
And this is a recolor of a Mega Vivian called Sigma Vivian. So
Ya
we
no es roja,
are
ahora es verde.
going to have that
¿Lo
available
azul?
as the Bounty Store exclusive, which will
Pues
you know,
eso era
rotate
azul.
in and out during the Absolution
Azul
update.
y verde.
And you know you'll have to save up. These ones are usually a bit of a grind, so definitely make sure if you're not already getting drops and getting the coins from your quests to save up now before this comes out if you really
Guys.
want to get this skin and get your hands on it. And yeah, I believe that is it for our skins right now. But do you have any final comments, guys?
Just that I am always super hyped about the content, and even though I have a little bit of, like I said, that thalassophobia, a little bit of the fear of the dark depths, I think our content turned out really well. I love the personality that we got in our voice packs, and as always, and I say this every time, but I mean it every time,
¿Qué wea?
our teams
Defendiendo,
absolutely kill it.
Tyler.
Always.
Absolutely.
Mira.
Fantastic job.
Yeah. And yeah, we're gonna take a look in, folks. So one thing coming in the
VTubers.
next update
yeah.
is we
Amanda
have
Watson.
partnered with HoloLive, which if you're not familiar with HoloLive, they are a company that brings VTubers out and signs VTubers. And Amelia Watson has played paladins and was interested with HoloLive with the partnership to do an announcer pack for us. So, in celebration of achieving 1.5 million subscribers on YouTube, for Amelia Watson, players can now earn this announcer pack for free during the Absolution update by playing 5 matches.
That's right.
So we'll take a
If
look
If you
at
ever
it.
wanted to hear
Have a
Amelia
good time.
Watson in your game, this is the time to do it. Congratulations again. She was a pleasure to work with, and it was, and just get hyped. Get hyped.
These,
Usted no es malnacido, vos.
yeah, I think we're gonna preview it a little bit. Maybe.
Ahí lo voy a F5. Todo pendejo.
Bond.
Ojo.
Hexakill. Whoa.
I love it. And one of the really amazing things about this and the Lily Pichu voice acting is I think this opens a lot of opportunities in the future for other content creators to partner and work with us, whether it's doing a voice pack
Dice
from
que
their
próximamente pueden traer
auditioning,
más.
or just doing
Más?
a
Ah,
you know,
aún
a
no.
skin, like voicing a skin. You know, we go through the auditions
dice?
and whatever's the
Ay,
best is the one
prefiero
that
me
gets
roba
chosen.
nueva.
And it's really great to see some other people, you know, shine. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Any last
That
words on
is
that before we
crazy,
get into
crazy.
you know,
I love
the,
you.
the big
Thank you
man,
for this
you know,
love.
our
I
Amelia.
just hope we see a big community response on this because we love to find
yeah, la
more ways
streamer.
to shout out our content creators and show
La
support.
VTuber.
So,
Oh no.
Yeah, what Fish said.
what the fish said. All right. So with that being said, folks, we're gonna if you haven't already seen it, Azan is coming, Azan the Eternal, and we're gonna take a look again at the reveal trailer for this baddie. Let's go.
¿El trailer del campeón? ¿El
Creo que
trailer?
más importa. Aula, después los voy a perguear.
Uy.
Coño de la madre.
Llegó el virote. Ah, pues ni virote
Me
tiene.
recuerda un personaje de una serie que no sé mucho.
Te cargó el payaso, Yarora.
Noviembre.
Meteoro
That's
Impact.
Azan. You know,
Yeah.
first
Shazam.
landing officially in Paladins, and also
Olvidar a Shazam.
landing
po,
into
weón.
the hearts of many in the comments section yesterday too. I saw you. I almost had to, you know, take Azan's hammer and bonk a couple of you with that. But with that, yeah, Nico got the hammer. But as far as lore goes, we'll kind of break it down here while we take a look at Azan's default splash art. Nico, take us away.
That's right, I'm going to break it down. Well, Azan did not hurt when he fell from heaven. He is too tough for that. Azan the Eternal, one of the oldest Pyre Lords.
El único.
Now,
Ah,
his
madre.
whole deal, right, is that he represents the Pyre. He's been around for so
único
long,
señor de
and
la
the Pyre's
pira.
thing
A la madre,
is
¿eh?
that the Abyss cannot get the realm. Now,
Sus poco
there is a
parecido
distinction
parece
between the Abyss and the darkness being Yalgaroth and what she represents. So, the Abyss is now creeping into the realm, thanks Corvus, and Azan is not having that. So it is at the point where he can't take that anymore. He is coming down and saying, "Look, realm, collective realm, if you don't get your stuff together, I'm going to take care of this darkness worm for a minute. If you don't get your stuff together, you're not going to like what happens. So because I can't let the Abyss have the realm." And if a couple orphans happen to die along the way, then that's the price we have to pay. And it's not, it's not quite so drastic. And it's like not going to go out of his way to kill some orphans. You know what I'm saying? But this man has the power, and he will not let the
Cheto.
Abyss have the realm. And if
Oye,
you
es
are in
mejor
his
que
way,
Azan.
then you will find out what that means.
it's harsh.
Very ominous.
Salvation comes at a cost.
Muestra
Be
sus
ready to be
habilidades,
absolved.
dice. ¿Qué
So
pedo
we
con
are
el
gonna
lore?
see the Eternal in game. Let's
está
go take a
muy-
look.
Muy revuelto.
Now
pinches
everyone is
máquinas.
pretty stoked that this is a frontline.
Levita,
Yes.
weón.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
yeah, I can give let me do the quick rundown.
Yeah.
Real
give us
fast.
a
And-
rundown.
¿Qué crees?
To be clear, that lore that I just spouted is not actually what I wrote in game.
Yo no veo
We
munición
can go in
ahí.
game. We can get like the more
Efectivamente,
official
está en
rundown.
game.
That was my TLDR lore time with Nico. So
¿Será
you want more
melee?
something
Al
more
fin,
concrete?
otro
Just go ahead
melee.
and look in game. So we have Azan. He is a front line. His health
Termina
is
ya
sitting
estará
at
solito.
4,500 at base.
Hasta que lance el martillo.
We'll start by talking about his passive first. He does have a passive called Ire. You can see a bar on the left side of his ability bar screen there.
It's melee.
Sí,
Ire
mínimo.
is built on taking or dealing damage. Over the course of 0 to 100% Ire, you gain a passive benefit of 0 to 20%, I believe, right now, damage reduction.
Opa.
So 20% damage reduction at 100% Ire, and 0% damage reduction at 0% Ire. While you are above 85% Ire, the bar will change, and you will gain a passive 12% right now damage increase. Something to keep in mind, using a basic ability above the Ire threshold will augment that ability, giving an additional benefits. And then using any of your basic abilities, which are any abilities that are not his ultimate, consumes Ire, even if you are below the threshold. So if you're sitting at 20% Ire and something costs 20% to use, you can still use it even if you don't have 20%, but regardless, it will take that 20% even if it's not above the threshold. So we can show off a little bit, taking damage, building that Ire. Guess he's got to reload real quick. We see he's now above the threshold. That provides him that damage boost. And if he were to use ability above that threshold, he gets that augment. We can go right into his weapon. His in-hand is called Judgment. We have a throwing hammer.
¿Qué?
Not going to throw my hammer. He can throw his hammers.
¿Lanza su martillo, dice?
Throw your
Please
hammer
don't
in an
throw your
attack chain.
Ah, qué estafa.
It
He doesn't have
is
a spirit
indeed
cost to worry about.
hammer time. I know. I rent this
Lanza
place.
el
I can't do
martillo,
bad damage to it. Throw
soy.
your
Lo
hammer
dije.
in an attack chain of medium, heavy. 540 damage on
Uno
medium
feliz
hits
porque
and
el
660
melee
on
y al
heavy
final
hits. This thing is
lanza el
chunky
martillo.
and has a fantastic VFX. Thank you, Roland, as always. Even leaving that impact on
Como Grover, ¿viste?
very, very cool.
Pues sí, como Robert tiene el arma ahí como
The
pendejo y
benefits
lanza
of being over the threshold for Judgment, your in-hand, are that there becomes an area of effect on landing while throwing hammers above threshold. You can see here as
Mágico. Cuando ves
submerged
ese
Strixus, our
detalle
cameraman,
en
showing
Hyrule lo
off that
dices.
AoE burst.
Dice sin pero tanque.
Moving on to
What?
our
Como
second
Reinhardt,
ability.
¿viste? El
What?
de...
We have Reckoning, the alt fire. After a brief windup, we send out a projectile that creates a targeter that opens up into a larger area. Enemies hit by this right click, this Reckoning will... Oh, poor Fernando. Stuck in limbo forever.
Mira esos
He does
bugs.
not want to be here.
Yeah,
Hasta la nota del
does
parche.
not want to be here.
En plena
The
demostración
right
de
click will lift enemies up
¿Qué?
and deal damage to them. Look at
fue
that.
eso?
That will travel
No
along
vi,
the
no vi,
ground.
no vi.
Can be used in the air if
La
necessary.
ulti.
No creo.
And you can show off the lift. There
Si
we
esa es la
go.
ulti es
The
paupérrima.
target you see on the ground
No,
is where it
te
hits.
down.
So if you do not,
Esa es
if
la
you
F,
use it too close and don't hit
No,
that
la F
Fernando
vuela,
on the
baboso,
targeter,
no
then you're
manches.
not going to get that damage.
La
And,
Q.
El clic derecho.
this is a lift similar to Bounce House rather than a knock up, by the way. And then the above threshold thing for Reckoning is the cooldown is reduced. The base cooldown is reduced from, I think it's by 3 or 4 seconds. So if you want to spam this, you'll want to make sure that you are over threshold before you use your Reckoning. Moving on to
Un
our
tanque
next
volador,
ability, we
¿estás
have
loco, Jairus?
Sanctuary. Shout out to
Cuando lo estén haciendo
Kingdom
daño,
Hearts for
vuela.
that song title.
Yeah,
Sanctuary creates a
that's
series-
what I thought of.
It wasn't intentional when I named it, but I realized that, and then I started listening to Simple and Clean all day. It was terrible. Well, I was gonna say it's terrible, but I loved it
Ok.
all day on repeat. Anyway, Sanctuary creates a series of 5 wall segments in a semicircle around your target, or your targeter, each with their own health pool.
¿El arco para qué sirve?
And we can show that off briefly.
¿Qué? Nada.
I'm not in here with you.
Ah, es un escudo.
You're in here with
Thunderbird.
Un bote
me.
escudos. Nice.
You
Se ven
might have seen
chidos.
Mr. Rush posting
Como Inara,
the
¿viste?
concept
Sí.
for that.
Defensa OP dice.
This is cool because it is a different flavor of wall. So this
Y
is a
para con las
wall,
fisuras.
not a shield. So it is
Uy.
not going to be wreckerized, but instead.
Técnicamente es menos probable que te...
And then, so each segment has its own health pool. Each one can die independently. And the cool thing is, we'll talk about this with the next ability. There's an interaction with his next ability and the wall. The threshold for the threshold benefit for using this ability above the threshold is there is a health multiplier on each segment of the wall. I believe the base is 25% increase in base health if you use Sanctuary above the Ire threshold. Moving on to our next ability, we have Conviction. Azan dashes forward. Carrying up to one enemy, well, up to one, 0 or 1, if you miss, I suppose. Carrying up to one enemy with you. This is not limited to the ground. You can indeed dash straight up if you so desire. And if you happen to slam the enemy into collision, they will feel the pain. You see our cameraman showing off that verticality. So the cool thing is, so there's some extra damage and extra stun. Right? Poor Cassibot again, stuck in a bad place. It's okay. Ziggs can help her out. The cool thing is there is a damage and stun associated with... Ooh, hello, Ojo. With the Conviction, and then if you slam an enemy into your own walls, you gain, or rather they take, a longer duration stun and more extra damage. So we see a little bit of a combo starting to form here. Right click, or wall, right click, hammer, dash, all that good stuff. Fernando once more put into the limbo of his life. The stun at base without any augmentation is 1 second or less, and then against your own walls is I think closer to 2. Obviously numbers change during PTS, but that's the general idea. This ability is used faster if used above the Ire threshold. So if it's used above the Ire threshold, rather than taking the base amount of time to travel from point A to point B, it takes whatever reduced 70% time for it to happen. There you go. Faster. Gotta go fast. And now we can take a look at Deliverance, our ultimate ability. Now, something to keep in mind, some of our animations are still in progress, so the final animation for the last second of the ult will be a little bit janky, but that should be fixed in PTS pretty shortly. We're going to go ahead and rise up into the air for up to 6 seconds, reducing the damage you take for that duration. While in the air, you can fire at the ground to throw your hammer, dealing significant damage and slight knockback. On landing, deal less damage and significant knockback to provide that 1-2 punch.
Hasta ahí se ve como...
Che, su lora, ¿viste?
Don't know what's coming to him. So you see that the last second and a half, the animation just no problem, you'll see it in PTS.
No, hermano, eso es ya pasaje de
the cool thing about
enfermedad
this
venérea.
Is the contribution of the damage you do with your ultimate to your Ire is doubled. So if you have no Ire, there are 5 enemies on the point, and you need to get in there right now. You will be ready to go
imagínatelo hacerlo
nearly
en un acantilado eso.
above the threshold.
Te mueres, pero
And that, I believe, covers... Oh, there's no... And then there is no direct Ire threshold benefit for the ultimate. Those are only for the basic abilities. And I believe that covers the base Azan kit. Did I miss anything?
Bueno, ya que mostraron todo, yo me despido.
I don't think so, but I really love
tengo que sacar a
getting
mi
to show
perro.
off these abilities, especially the ult. I think this is
Muchas gracias y nos vemos mañana.
a new kind of
This is my point, go back to hell. This is my point, go back to Scotland is not a real country. You are an Englishman with a